They were flawed, they were failing, and then they broke through. Failure. Not the kind you post for motivation, not the polished kind with a neat resolution. I'm talking about the kind that stings in silence. The kind that whispers to you when everyone else has stopped watching, "You're done." Some people feel it in the pit of their stomach. Others feel it when they look in the mirror and barely recognize who's staring back. And sometimes, just to drive the point home, life throws in burnt toast. Because, hey, rock bottom comes with breakfast, right? But what if we've misunderstood failure? What if being flawed was never the disqualifier, but the actual requirement for greatness? It's easy to admire the after, the success, the stage, the story neatly wrapped in a bow. But rewind the tape and you'll find pain. You'll find the broken, the overlooked, the messy middle nobody wants to talk about. They were flawed, not Instagram imperfect. I mean deeply flawed. They battled addiction, anger, shame, regret. People called them hopeless, and some days they believed it. And let's be real, most of us would skip the ugly parts of our own lives if we could. We'd hit fast forward on the heartbreak, mute the nights we broke down, edit out the years we lost ourselves. But what if those were the scenes that actually built the breakthrough? Because failure, that feeling of falling short over and over again, isn't just an end. Sometimes it's an invitation to confront yourself, to stand up without applause, to move forward even when you're not sure you're worth the next step. They failed, repeatedly, quietly, sometimes spectacularly. They got knocked down so often, getting up became muscle memory. At some point, it wasn't about winning, it was about not quitting. They lost jobs, relationships, years. And yet, then something shifted. Not in a cinematic way, not always with fireworks. Sometimes it started with something as small as making the bed, a single phone call, an apology, a choice to show up differently. And suddenly the cracks started to glow. Not because life got easier, but because they got stronger. Breakthroughs don't arrive like heroes. They creep in, disguised as habits, as hard conversations, as showing up to the same hard thing. Again, not one giant leap, just one brave decision at a time. They didn't wake up one day perfect. They woke up committed to healing, to changing, to leading, not in spite of their past, but because of it. Because what if your scars are your superpower? What if the very thing you've been hiding is what makes your story irresistible to someone else? They were flawed, they were failing, and then they rose. Not polished, but powerful. And now, maybe it's your turn. Maybe the pain you're holding onto is just the beginning of your breakthrough. Maybe the story you've been ashamed of is the one someone else desperately needs to hear. You were never meant to stay where you started. Rise, transformation, lead. You are rogue turned role model. If this message moved you, even a little, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone still in the middle of their story, and hit subscribe for more stories of rising from the ashes, reclaiming purpose, and leading with impact. Your next chapter starts now. Let's write it together.